Wonderful. Hello, hello. This is Dr. Lewis, and this is our first actual Google Hangout. This is a training session that we're going to do. Thank you, Becky, for turning me on to this unbelievable technology. I believe that through this technology, there's going to be a lot of people that are really going to benefit, just like I have benefited, just like a lot of our organization has benefited. In network marketing is really simple, and I don't mean to oversimplify the industry, but network marketing isn't that challenging. What makes it challenging is when people don't understand that there are systems that govern our progress. There are systems that govern how well we do in network marketing, and if we understand the systems, then this becomes a joy, this becomes easy, it becomes duplicatable. We are able to monetize this business. We're able to make a living, a lucrative living off of this. If we don't understand the system, then it's like the NFL, it's like an NFL team going to play in the playoffs or the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl, but they don't practice any games. And you just get a lot of people out there say, okay, throw me the ball, and you have 10 receivers and no one blocking, or you have 11 blockers and no one running out. It's just going to be chaos. That is what I see in network marketing very often. I see a lot of good people suffer and waste a lot of their time and waste a lot of their energy because no one has ever taught them a system. Now, I wish that I can tell you that I created this system, but I didn't create the system. This system has been handed down over years by people that have done incredibly well. And when I say incredibly well, I'm not talking about making a few $1,000s a week. I'm talking about making 7-figure incomes per month. This system has been handed down over the last 30 years. Now, I have modified it. I have added a little bit more flavor. I have modernized it. You know, things have changed. We're in the technological era now. We're not in the era where we have to call everybody. We have texting. We have Facebook. We have Instagram. We have all these. We have this wonderful technology right now that allows me to come into your room, into your household. Doesn't matter what you're wearing, doesn't matter where you're at, doesn't matter what you're doing, you can get this training. So things have completely changed, but at the end of the day, it is still relationship marketing. At the end of the day, it is still kneecap to kneecap, belly to belly. Doesn't mean that we have to be face to face. I can be sitting here talking to 50,000 people now, but still there has to be a sense of reality. There has to be a sense of connection. Without connection, this does not work. If we think that we're going to do it any other way, I challenge people to show me people that are truly succeeding in today's time without really building relationships. You may see them, it may be a flash in the pan, but for a long term, for a real sustainable income, for a real sustainable business, we have to do it kneecap to kneecap, belly to belly. Thank God for this technology that we can reach a lot more people. So the 4 keys, the 4 fundamental pillars to multi-level marketing, to becoming a professional in multi-level marketing, okay? We're going to cover only one, but I'm going to give you an overview of all 4. The first one is invitation. The second one is edification. The third one is presentation. And the 4th one is meeting conduct. Those are the 4 pillars to becoming a professional network marketer. Now, there's a lot of other aspects. There's a psychological aspect, there's a spiritual aspect, there's a lot of other aspects to it. But if you can teach your organization to do these 4, to master these 4 elements, the key is mastering them. It's not just learning the game, but it's learning the game, playing the game, and teaching the game. If you first learn the game, and then you play the game, in the process of playing the game, you master the game, and then when you play the game, you can teach the game. That is duplication. Now you have built a successful network marketing organization. Now there will come a time in the near future where you can actually walk away from your business, walk away from your organization for a week, for a month, for a year, and your organization will continue growing because they have learned the system, they have caught your spirit, they know the energy, they know the vibrational frequency that they have to be functioning at, and things just keep moving forward. And that is true multi-level marketing. That is when you know you have graduated to a professional level. So what we're going to talk about today is the 6 points to a proper invitation. Okay, now invitation begins with step number 1. And step number 1 is connection. In a proper invitation, you must connect with your prospect. It doesn't matter if your prospect is a family member, it doesn't matter if it's a friend, if it's an acquaintance, if it's a coworker, if someone you see at church, someone that you talk to at Starbucks, someone that you see every time you go to the cleaners. Network marketing is about connection. Connection says You must seek to understand before being understood. Stephen Covey in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the 7 habits says you must seek to understand before being understood. Find out what they need and utilize longevity as a seed to fill that need. What the biggest challenge that I see, especially in untrained network marketers, is that they literally throw up on a prospect. They start talking about things that are completely irrelevant or non-appropriate for that individual. Now, I've been in the industry of network marketing for almost 15 years. The first time someone approached me, they talked to me about building an income in less time that I had built my chiropractic practices. Now, someone would come to me and talk to me about health. At the time, I was 32 years old. I felt great. I was in great shape. Would I be interested in health? Yes, I would be interested in health, but my action motivator, the button that was in me to make me take an action that I normally wouldn't take, was that they challenged me. They said, sit with me for 1 hour and I will show you how I can double your income in less amount of time. Now, I am a workaholic, or I was a workaholic. I used to work 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours a day. But I knew that I couldn't do that for a very long time. I wanted to build a family. I wanted to live a great life. I wanted to enjoy my family. So as long as I was at the office, I couldn't be at home. I found myself being in my office thinking about my family, and when I was with my family, I was thinking about my office. So I was living a life of duality, and that's not healthy for anybody. So connection is about seek to understand before being understood. Everyone has 3 action motivators: the need for time, the need for better income, and the need for health. All you need to do is seek to find out what is their greatest need. Now, how do we find that out? Oprah Winfrey says, words create worlds. Words create worlds. So therefore, you must ask questions. You must ask questions that are going to stimulate a conversation. You must ask questions that are going to stimulate some type of true dialogue. And you must make yourself transparent so you can give them an opportunity of freedom to also share with you what is true in their life. So therefore, if something, don't come to them, and I know we have a beautiful product. I know Dr. Joe Wallach is extraordinary, but ask to see what is missing in their life. So step number 1 is connection. Seek to understand before being understood. Don't give them what you have. Find out what they first need. Step number 2, in seeking to understand before being understood, is you're going to find out their action motivator. What you want to do is you want to find their why. Nietzsche, a German philosopher, once said, once you find out their why, the how is very simple. So many people get hung up on the price. $4.99 is too much. $5.99 is too much. $1,099 is too much. I was 20 years old when I paid for my chiropractic education. It cost me $178,000. My family didn't make $178,000 in 10 years of working, okay? So why did I, through financial aid, through grants, through scholarships, how did I come up with $178,000? Because when the promise is clear, the price is easy. So therefore, in the why, we must find out what is it that they want in their life the most. What is it? What are they willing to give up to attract? That may be a disease, a condition that someone's going through. It may be bringing their family from another country and reuniting their family. For most people, it's the lack of money. For a lot of people, we are going through a financial transgression. Many people say the government right now says that the poverty rate is decreasing. Maybe the poverty rate is decreasing, but what's called the working poor is increasing. People that what we call are house broke. They're living check to check. They're living from month to month. Now, they don't look poor. They still drive up in their minivans. They still drive up in their Hondas. They still go to work every single day, but they are barely making it. So when you get their why, when you get their action motivator, now the next step, the third step, is the critical step. This is the fork in the road. This is when either the person is going to look at you like a salesman, or they're going to look at you as someone who is pivotal in their life and can really, really help them. You must emotionalize that action motivator. Coming to me and telling me that you have someone that wants to make money is not good enough. Coming to me and telling me that you have somebody that wants to better their health is not good enough. We need to dig deeper. Think of the action motivator. Think of emotionalizing the action motivator as a wound, as a scar, as a cut. And you get some vinegar, you get some lemon, you get some salt, and you put it on this. Yes, it must hurt. People will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. The Power of opportunity for many people isn't enough to stimulate action. You must introduce danger into their life. If you and I, if we're walking, we're taking a hike in a hill, we're walking casually, and I say, you know what, let's go all out and let's just run as fast as we can for the next 100 yards. You may take off, you may assume the challenge. Many people won't, because there's no real reason why. But if you hear the bushes move, and if we look down and we see a rattlesnake, I bet you'll take off. The reason you will run is because there is a sense of danger. See, when you emotionalize the action motivator, we must introduce them to danger that is coming near them. That knock is a knock of danger. There is danger coming into everyone's life. In the book, there's a book that was written. It's called The Weight of the Nation. And it says that by 2017, which is only in 2 years, 81% of all Americans over 25 will be either overweight or obese. 81%. And obesity is a precursor to cancer, to diabetes, and to cardiovascular disease. So therefore, even if we think that we're just slightly overweight and we're going to make it through life, it's not true. Now, like I said earlier, the people that are struggling financially, those percentages are increasing. We have never, ever seen such a low income for college graduates than we have seen in the last 2 to 3 years. So things are not working in our favor. The best thing that we can do is introduce ourselves to entrepreneurism, and the best opportunity in becoming our own entrepreneur is getting involved in network marketing. So here in the why, we must emotionalize it so people can see this as their best opportunity. They're not doing you a favor by getting involved. They're doing themselves a favor by getting involved. If you don't emotionalize the why, then you're only going to be a very, very good salesperson, and no one wants to be sold anymore. People are tired of being sold. There's so many different products. There's so many different companies. What people are looking for, people are not looking for friends. People are looking for leaders. And leaders are people that bring solutions to problems. So if I have a massive problem, if I'm not making enough money to feed my family, if I've been in the same environment for 10 years and I want to get out of that environment, then I need to find somebody, not something. I need to find somebody that will help me get out of that situation. And that is what happens when we emotionalize the why. So step number 1 is you connect. Seek to understand before being understood. Step number 2 is you get the why, their action motivator, that button that when you push, they're going to do something they've never done before. Step number 3 is you emotionalize that why. You got to put that salt and lemon into that wound. You must introduce danger, not in a negative way, not in a fearful way, but in a true way. Step number 4 is once they're kind of shaken a little bit, now you lift them back up by edifying. Edification. Edification. The root word of edification is edifice. Edifice is Latin for building. The process of edifying is to build somebody up in front of somebody else. Now, there's keys to edifying. There's actually 4 principles to edifying that we're not going to discuss right now. But the key component to understanding edification is you must edify somebody else. You can't just edify yourself. So therefore, if I'm going to invite you to a presentation, if I'm going to invite you to a conference call, if I'm going to invite you to a one-on-one, then I'm going to invite you to meet somebody that has changed my life. That is the process of edification. Now, very briefly, for some people, they find it very, very difficult to edify. And there is only one reason why people would not be able to edify. The only reason people find it challenging to edify is because their own self-worth, their own personal value, their own insecurities, or what we call the ego. People that live in the ego, people that are not confident in themselves, find it very, very hard to uplift somebody else in front of someone else. So therefore, what we need to understand that there is power in transparency. There is power in vulnerability. So therefore, as long as we can have the ability to lift somebody higher than us, then that prospect will see us as a valuable individual. Now, the leader in our organization is Dr. Corey Gold. Now, if you've ever heard me speak, especially in a larger gathering, I always edify Dr. Corey Gold. Now, I edify Dr. Corey Gold for several reasons. I edify him because he came into my life at a very pivotal moment. I also edify him because he is the leader of our organization. But thirdly, I thirdly edify him as an example. You see, many people may think, oh, well, you know, I can sign up people myself. Well, it's true. I can sign up people myself, but it's much easier if I edify somebody else, okay? So therefore, you edify the leader, you edify the speaker, you edify the upline, you edify the senior vice chair. The key component is you edify. So step number 1 is you seek to understand before being understood, which is connection. Step number 2 is you get their why. Step number 3 is you emotionalize their why. Step number 4 is you're going to edify. Step number 5, now, the transition from edification to appointment. Step number 5 is get the appointment. Step number 5 is get the appointment. Now, in the process of getting the appointment, you want to make them feel as if they are making their own decisions. Okay, you don't want to impose. People really don't like to be imposed upon too often. So you want to ask them something such as, you want to say, okay, so if I can introduce you to this individual, what day would be better for you? On a weekday or on a weekend? Weekday, perfect. In the morning or in the evening? In the evening, wonderful. At 5 or at 7? At 7, great. So Becky, what you're telling me is on a Tuesday at 7 is a perfect time. Yes. So now you've given them a sense as if they're kind of making the decision, but you've guided them through the decision. Okay, so therefore that is getting the appointment. Now most people unfortunately stop at this moment. Most people stop right here and they think that they've got the appointment. They've got the appointment, but it's very, very superficial. What you want to do is you want to cement the appointment, which is key number 6. So here we go. Connection, number 1. Why, number 2. Emotionalize your why, number 3. Edify, number 4. Appointment, number 5. And the last one is you must cement the appointment. Now, what does that mean, cement the appointment? I'm going to give you an example. Okay, Becky, so 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock on Tuesday evening, great. Now, Becky, now we're going to role play a little bit. Becky, I want you to know something. The individual that I'm going to introduce you to, you may not know them, but this person is a very, very influential individual, not just in our city, not just in our country, but internationally. This person is sought by many, many people. Many people would love to spend an hour with this individual. For some reason, I connected with this individual, and this individual promised me that he will help me become a professional and help me attain my dreams. Now, I know, Becky, that if I put you in front of this individual will probably do the same thing for you. But Becky, you must understand something, that I highly respect this individual. And if I set up the appointment for next Tuesday at 7 p.m. and something comes up, Becky, you got to get your hair done. You got to go and get your nails done. A party all of a sudden came up. Something came up at your children's school. If something comes up and you cancel on me, Becky, you may not think it's a big deal. But I run the risk of losing credibility in front of this individual. And if I lose credibility, Becky, this individual may not give me the attention that that this person has been giving me up to now, and I can't afford that loss, Becky. Becky, I'm letting you know that this person is instrumental in me attaining my dreams, and I can't jeopardize that relationship. So Becky, when you and I hang up, and I call this individual to set up that appointment for next Tuesday at 7, is it set in concrete, Becky? Now, at that moment, they're either going to say, yes, I will go for sure, or they're going to say, well, you know what, let me check a few things. You would rather them be honest than you get your hopes all excited and get yourself all excited, get your hopes all high, and then they let you down the day of the meeting, the day of the presentation, the day of the one-on-one. You'd rather work with honesty than false hope. Most people at that moment are going to say, Becky, I understand, and I would not want you to lose credibility. Pin me in, I will be there. And the key is that you must pick up your guest. Listen, you must pick up that's not number 7. That's part of meeting conduct that I'm doing in a different presentation. But you must pick up your guest. If you don't pick up your guest, you run a huge risk of that individual not showing up. I've seen it millions of times. So here we go. 6 components. Connection. Seek to understand before being understood. Why? Their action motivator. Emotionalize it. People will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. Fine, you must edify. Only the egos don't edify. But if you edify, you set yourself up for the appointment. You get that appointment. You make them feel, you allow them to feel as if they're making the decisions. And 6 is you cement the appointment. That means that you lean on the relationship. You make sure that that individual understands that that appointment is bigger than them and you. It is about somebody, someone powerful, someone influential, someone that has made a decision to help many, many people. Now, if we do this, if we invite with these, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is perfect. But I'm telling you, if you use these 6 steps, you will become a professional network marketer in a very short period of time. The first 5, 10, 15, 20 people, you're probably going to mess it up. You're going to trip over yourself. You're going to say the wrong things. Don't worry about it. It's the law of process. The only reason I can get this message out in 15, 20 minutes is because I've done it thousands and thousands of times. But the reason I keep doing it is because I need to maintain myself sharp. It is January 5th. And as everyone knows in my organization, I am an independent marketing director. Now, you may be thinking, no, you're a senior vice chair. No, in my mind, I woke up in January as an independent marketing director, and I'm going to repeat my senior vice chair cycle by June. So I need to sharpen the saw, one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. I need to keep myself as sharp as possible because remember, numbers don't lie. 1 leader comes into your organization and you have a fun organization. 2 leaders come into your organization and you have changed your lifestyle. 3 leaders come into your organization and you are a multimillionaire. That's how far from financial freedom you are. That's how far you are from changing your life. But remember what Jim Rohn says. Success is not something that you chase after. Success is not something that you work towards. Success is something that you attract by the person you become. If you work on your work, you'll create a living. But if you work on yourself, you manifest a fortune. We need to work on ourselves. For every 1 presentation that we do about 4 trainings. That is the ratio of a healthy organization. You must train 4 times as much as you work. Look at any NFL team. They only play 3 hours a week, but they train about 70, 80 hours a week for those 3 hours. Look at any Olympic athlete, maybe a gymnast. They may be on the uneven bars for 1 minute, but they've trained their entire life for that 1 minute. This is no different. This is not perfect, like Eric Roy says. It's just better than everything else out there. So I really hope and pray that you see this video over and over and over and over. It's not about me. It's about the system. Systems work and people fail. And God knows that God has a big plan for you this year. God has a major plan. He wants to fill your barns. He wants to expand your territory, but you must do the work also. So if you master this invitation, it may not work all the time, but it's going to work a lot more often than trying to just ad-lib it and just trying to shoot from the hip every single time. You want to have a system. It's going to make you more confident. It's going to make you more secure. You're going to have a system that you can fall back on when things are a little challenging. It doesn't matter if someone's getting out of a 1967 VW Bug or someone's getting out of a 2015 $150,000 Mercedes. Remember, the working poor. The working poor are the people that you're looking for. The working poor are the people that look like you and I, but they are broke. They are house broke, going check to check. And if you approach them the right way, and if you invite them the right way, they could be your next leader. So I hope that this really helps you. This is the first part of 4 that we're going to do. Again, I want to thank Becky so much because she has turned me on to something extraordinary. And this has helped me tremendously in the last 14 years. It's helped me to build some incredible organizations, and I know it will do the same for you. So thank you so much for sharing your time. God bless you, and I hope this turns into prosperity for your organization.